How to get an 800 credit score, perfect credit. That's right. What's up, YouTube fam? Brendan Weaver here once again. We're getting into it right now. Right now. That's right. We got this right here. Highest FICO achievers, okay? FICO's highest achievers. They'll let you know. If you've got myfico.com, you've got their app, you can actually look in and see what they and how they score things, right? And what they recommend. Okay, they might not give you exactly their algorithm and the rebucketing and the scorecards and all that, but they'll give you an idea of what they're looking for. Now, of course, we know payment history, 35%, the big chunk. 35% is your payment history. No missed payments. Everything's on time. None of these collections and charge-offs and repossessions or bankruptcies and all this hard inquiries. You want to get these negative, nasty, erroneous, unverified items off of there. 609creditrepair.com, or we can do the work for you, theawesomelifegroup.com, all right? So, no missed payments. Highest FICO achievers have no missed payments, no public records, no collections, no charge-offs, no delinquent accounts, nothing, okay? At least within the last 4 years, but typically nothing at all, okay? It's got to be clean, got to be 100% good, right? So that's where we come in. We start disputing these negative jokers out of there, the unverified, inaccurate, obsolete, and outdated information, okay? And one good address, one good name on there can also be very helpful, all right? 30% is your amount of debt. So the other big chunk is 30%. Right here, we're talking about 65%. 35% payment history, 30% is your amount of debt. So less than 7% utilization is the highest FICO achievers. Yes, so you might say, okay, well, you know, I want to get it under 30%. I've heard of getting it under 30% is good. Yes, that's excellent. Getting it under 10% is outstanding. And, you know, getting under 7% is where you get to that perfect 800 and above credit score. So under 7%, you want to be utilizing 3 revolving accounts. So if you don't have 3 revolving accounts, that's at least where you want to go to, right? That's your first goal, is to get that 3 revolving accounts and get that utilization under 7%. Where you said, Brandon, hey, look, how do I do it? We've talked about trade lines here, right? I'm gonna just put out a few videos here again on trade lines, store cards that you can utilize. My Jewelers Club card, New Coast Direct, each one's $5K. Make sure it works for you and your budget. You know, they might have a fee, annual fee, or a purchase or whatnot. Make sure it works for you. But then you got a couple revolving credit cards. You got big lines of credit, helps bring that credit utilization down, get the charge-offs, the collections, and negative items off of there, and get yourself another card. I've seen individuals who have come back very quickly in their credit repair journey and to get travel miles cards and cashback cards pretty quickly. So it is possible. Or you might be starting out, hey, store cards, and I'm getting my unsecured cards, and then I go to my cashback and my big time rewards cards, and even some business credit cards and stuff like that. Of course, business credit typically does not appear. It doesn't appear on your credit reports typically, your personal ones, but you might need business credit. In any case, when we're talking about getting your personal credit score up, we're talking about your personal revolving account. So you want to be using 3 of them consistently and paying them off at the end of every month. Okay, some people want to play with the utilization, say, okay, if I get a 1% utilization, 2%, make it a 1%, it looks a little better. You know, just go for paying it off every month. It really doesn't make that huge of a swing as far as your points. If you get 1% utilization instead of 0% and having a little bit of percent looks better. I've seen for myself paying it off on time all the time, still up in the 800s, okay? So if you're above 800, the difference could be, well, if I have 1%, maybe I'll have an 820 instead of an 815, or an 825 instead of an 820. It's very minimal at that level. If you want to play with that and try, that would be up to you. But really, if you're paying it off on time every time, and you've got no missed payments, and you're using 3 revolving accounts, and you got your utilization down, then you want to look at 15% is your credit history, okay? So credit history, if you have young credit age, your average accounts of all your accounts, average accounts of all the accounts, it's a little bit on the younger side. It may not be as solid, right, as strong. I know when I was starting out, I had a little bit younger credit. I didn't have a lot of credit history, but I'll tell you what, the small amount that I did have, I still was in the 800s because I had no missed payments. I had some good credit history. It wasn't that old at the time, and my credit utilization was down, so I still was up in the 800s. Now, the highest FICO achievers, their average age of their credit is about 9 years or more, okay? So all your new accounts, maybe you're putting on new accounts and you're getting this new stuff going. It may take a little time, you know, to age and get some age, but I'm telling you, you could still have an 800 credit score. It's still possible. Now, one of the accounts, the oldest account, they look at your oldest account, highest FICO achievers, the oldest account is 25 years or more. Now you're saying 25 years or more, how can I'm telling you, I didn't have an account that was 25 years or more, and I still was in the 800 credit score. So the history is part of it. It's not a huge part of it, but is a part of it, and that can be helpful to you, okay? 10% of the amount of new credit. So 10% is your amount of new credit. The highest achievers, most people And that highest bracket of FICOs in the 800s really haven't had new credit in the past 2.5 years, okay? And really haven't had a recent hard inquiry, haven't had a hard inquiry in the last year. And so really they're looking at individuals. About 70% of the highest FICO achievers haven't had a hard inquiry in the past year. So really they're looking at individuals who haven't been applying for much credit. And this is something that was interesting in the beginning of my credit repair process. When I was able to get the negative nasty erroneous items off of there, when I was able to update my negative late payments to positive and have some credit history on there, I had all good on time payment history. I really didn't have a lot of revolving credit, but I still was able to keep my credit utilization down. Had decent history, wasn't like very long, but had some decent history, and hadn't really applied for new credit. So in their books, we're looking really good, okay? And so that's how I was up in the 800s. Now, because I was in the 800s and I wanted to get some travel cards, I want to travel the world, and I want to put my good credit to work, get something back, right? Whether it's for you, it's cash back, whether it's business credit, whether it's a home, you know, get a home, building wealth, or whatever it is. You want to put your good credit to work, then you can, you know? You can. If you don't need anything, you don't want to, it's okay, you don't have to. But if you want to put it to work, feel free. Put your good credit to work. Put those 700 credit scores, 800 credit scores to work. Because what can happen is, over this time of this 10% amount of new credit, maybe, you know, it comes down a little bit. My score went from the 800s down into the 700s. But after a while, when I didn't really have to apply for new credit, I'm really set. It's been a while since I had hard inquiries. Boom, 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 boom. Now I got all this available credit. I've got all on-time payment history. They're seeing this great history, great credit. It came back up even higher. So I was in the early, you know, light 800s, you know, 805, 803 in the beginning when I finished my credit repair journey. Came down a little bit, put it to work, and then it's back up into the mid 800s. So it's a process. This is why the you know, credit for personal credit is a little bit different and funky, so to speak, because it's not simply just a linear process when you're building credit and all this stuff. There's a little fluctuation to it because of the hard inquiries, because they want to make sure. It's such a weird thing. You got to add good credit to have good credit, but adding good credit can bring the score down temporarily with hard inquiries. So it's just slowly but surely moving in the right direction. And the next thing, 10% credit mix. So when I was dealing with the credit mix, when I was first starting out, I didn't have a lot of available credit, even though I was in the 800s, like I was saying. But now that I have more revolving credit, can use 3 revolving accounts, it's actually it can be actually easier after a period of time to maintain that good credit history. So the highest achievers have 12 revolving accounts. So the highest FICO achievers that have an 800 credit score tend to have 12 revolving accounts. I'm not saying you need to have all 12. Again, I didn't have 12 revolving accounts when I first had the 800. You want to make sure that you're cleaning up your credit. 609creditrepair.com. We can do the work for theawesomelifegroup.com. But 12 revolving accounts is what they're looking for. Now, this is over a long period of time, so don't feel like you have to get it all at once. It could be a few years. It took me some time to build my credit, right, with having revolving credit cards. So you don't have to have all 12. Again, like I was saying, I had an 800 credit score before I had 12 revolving accounts. So you don't have to have all 12, but that is where the highest FICO achievers. So that might be something you want to attain to. Again, all of this is something that you can get to, attain to. Maybe you're going to get to 780, maybe you're going to get 805, maybe you're going to get to 815. Who knows, right? Everybody's journey is a little bit different. But five of those 12 revolving accounts can be store cards, okay? They don't have to be, you don't have to have any store cards, but 5 of them can be store cards. The rest, okay, the other 7 have to be big bank cards. And you're saying big banks, whether the Cities, the Chases, the Cap Ones, that kind of stuff, right? The banks that you would know, you would see. Okay, great. So 7 can be banks, 5 can be store cards, yes. They could all be banks if you wanted. And then, of course, they're looking at installment loans. So your credit mix, they look at installment loans. The highest FICO achievers, and again, you don't have to have all these, but the highest FICO achievers have 5 installment loans. And you're thinking, wait a minute, do they have to be open? And no. They could be closed and paid off and that kind of stuff, because perhaps you've paid a couple of cars off, you have a house, maybe you have a self.inc, you know, that's 4 right there. So it's possible to have and to be at that level and to have the credit mix, the revolving credit, the installment loans, and something that you might look into as well, and here's a little tip, is having a revolving account and having an open-end account, right? So if you have one open-end account, those tend to be the charge cards, the Amexes that have to be paid off at the end of the month. Those can help your credit mix as well. So you have your installments, your revolving credit, and your open-ended cards, okay? So again, highest FICO achievers, 35% payment history, all on-time payment history. So if you're dealing with derogatory items, charge-offs, collections, whatever it might be, repossessions, bankruptcies, I got emails of individuals getting bankruptcies off and repossessions off and charge-offs and collections. 609creditrepair.com, or we can do the work for you at theawesomelifegroup.com, all right? 30% is your amount of debt, 15% is the length of credit history, 10% is the amount of new credit, and 10% is your credit mix, okay? You've got what you need available to you, 609creditrepair.com. Get that Beyond Committed package. We can do the work for you at theawesomelifegroup.com. Please give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and until I see you in person, I will see you on the other side. Take care.